Okay, here we go for the Graphing Quadratics quiz review. We're going to do a little bit different thing with the review this time. Obviously, I posted the review. You guys are working on it. I'm going to post this one before the quiz. I'm going to try to do this with the quiz and any test that we have left. Is that I post a video of me working through all of the review. So kind of similar to what we would do the day before the test or a quiz. And in this case, so I'll post it late or the early of the morning of the day of the test so that you can check your review, you can go over some of the key concepts, and then also then take your test right after, okay? Remember, you can use your notes. We have no way of monitoring that. So any notes you write down and take, you can. Please do not use any AEWs. That would be answer enhancing websites. We want this to be your work, and so please try to stay true to that and do the best you can. We're not trying to tear anybody down right now. We just want you to pick up on the material, okay? All right, so here we go for number one. This is from our Graphing Quadratics quiz review. Number one was y equals, I'll put it over here actually. Y equals a negative x minus 8 squared and then minus 3. So guys, this is what you're having to answer on this. All right, so it starts off with what is A. Now you'll be given the formula, you can use your notes, so you should have this. A in this case, if there's nothing out front, there's just a negative sign, you would want to put in -1. Okay, when you do that on the quiz, make sure you do it without any spaces. Okay, so that don't put negative space 1, just -1 is all you gotta put, right? So that essentially means that the parabola is gonna open down, which is we're gonna answer that here in a minute. Okay, next, the h value. Notice the formula has a negative in it, so you have to change the sign. That's one of the tricky parts of this. So this would be a positive 8. Okay, the k value would be a -3. So there's that one. So that means the vertex is 8, -3. And again, when you fill in the spaces, when you fill in the blanks, don't press the space bar, don't leave any spaces between the negative to the 3. Okay, the axis of symmetry is going to be whatever this x value is actually going to be that as well, right? And then finally, the last part of this, does it open up or down? Well, we can look back to the a value is negative, so it opens down. So type in down. I would prefer if we just keep it all lowercase, but I tried to account for that by putting it, making it be either way, okay? Lowercase d or uppercase d should work there. All right, so there's number one. I'm going to keep going here. Number two has similar template for the answers. So that was number one. Let's go ahead to number two this time. We have y equals x plus 9 squared. And that one is plus 4. Okay, so here we go. This time there's nothing out front, so the a value is a +1. Okay, so don't put a plus sign there, you want to put a +1. The h value is going to be the opposite of this sign, so because of the formula, you're going to change this to a -9 right here, because it would be x minus a -9, minus the negative turns to plus. So that's -9, then the k value is the one that stays the same, so it is a 4. Okay, so then the vertex is just going to be these, -9, +4. And then the axis of symmetry is the x value, -9. Does it open up or down? Well, a is positive, so it's going to open up. See, if you use a lowercase u, that's fine. I tried to account if you use uppercase u, I wouldn't take off for that. Okay, so there is number two. All right, so that is vertex form stuff. So let's go ahead and go now to the next bit, which is going to be using some standard form. Okay. All right, standard form on number 3. This time we're going to make the table. So y equals x squared plus 2x plus 5, I believe. All right, so this is definitely standard form. So this is a 1 out front. So this would be A, B, and C. I would label those on your paper. And another bit of advice, I would try to do your work on a separate paper before you try to answer it on the computer. Okay, so here we go. For this, our first step, we're going to do x equals the opposite of b over 2a. Because if we're trying to fill out a table, we need to get the vertex. So the vertex is going to go right here in the middle. Okay? So to get the x value, we're going to go opposite of b. So this one would be negative 2 over 2 times a, which is 1. All right, so that's going to be the x value equals that. So we get a negative 2 over 2, which is equal to negative 1. So negative 1 is going to go in the x spot. That's the x value of the vertex. Now to get the y value, we're going to take this and plug it back in to these two spots, and then use the calculator. So y is going to equal negative 1 squared. Make sure you use a parentheses box, plus 2 times negative 1 plus 5. So use your calculator, type this out. Okay, multiply that out. So I believe here we should get, this one was going to be a 4, I believe. Okay, so there you go. That is the vertex. Now, how do we know what other points to check? Well, if you go on the graph, you don't have to graph it, but negative 1, positive 4 is up here. We know it's going to open up, but we want to check points. You know, if the parabola is going to go something like this, should put those closer together there. But if the parabola is going to go something like this, we need to know what these points are. We're going to check the points around negative 1. So negative 1, negative 2, negative 3 would go here, and then 0, and so negative 1, 0, and 1 go there. Okay, so that's filling out the table. So that's a huge part of this table. We have to get those. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and erase this part. This was finding the vertex. Okay, now what we're going to do is we need to find these other points, but because like this point and here, I know I can see that from the graph, but these 2 points will be symmetric. Just like these 2 points will be symmetric. So once I have this one, I already have both those. And if I get this one, I already have that one. All right, so I'm actually going to use the 0. You can use whichever one you want. But if I use the 0, I'm going to do 0 squared plus 2 times 0 plus 5. Right? So anytime there's 0, like this one and this one are just going to go away, and we get y equals 5. 0 squared is 0, plus 2 times 0 is 0, and we just get 5. So what that means is if this one's 5, then that one's going to be 5 as well. Okay? So your table has symmetry amongst these. The vertex takes out the middle, then these will match up, and then the outside one. So now we just need to do, I'm going to do y equals 1 squared plus 2 times 1 plus 5. And again, you can just use your calculator for this. We multiply all that out. Like I said, use your calculator. We should get 8. So if that one's 8, then this one will be 8. And there we go. So filling out that table, it looks like we're just going to fill in the blanks, but you actually have quite a bit of work to do along with it. Okay? So I would keep this opposite of b over 2a part. I would keep that in your notes. All right? So that is number 3. I'm going to keep things going so this video doesn't get too long. All right, for number 4, we just have 2 left, and these are the multiple choice. Y equals x minus 3 squared plus 5. Now, you have to decide which graph is going to match this equation. So basically, what is the equation giving us? It's giving us the vertex, and it's also, since this a value is 1, telling us does it open up or down. So right away, if it opens up, because this is positive 1, I can eliminate any answers that open down. Okay, so start off with that, and then the vertex is at, make sure you change the sign, positive 3, positive 5. So go on the graph, figure out which graph is at 3, 5, and opens up. So that would be the answer choice that is correct. Okay, so there's number 4. That multiple choice is quite a bit quicker. Okay, a lot less work than number 3. So there's number 4. And then last, number 5, before we wrap up the video. Okay, this one is y equals x squared minus 10x plus 22. All right, so on this one, right, it's not vertex form, but we can decide already this is a positive 1, so it must open up, right? So I can eliminate any answers that open down. Now, if it were negative x squared, you would want the one that opens down, or one of the maybe 2 or 3 that opens down. So now for the vertex, we have to do this again, because for this we got to go, if we've got A, B, and C, opposite of B, or negative 10 is a positive 10 over 2 times A, which is 1. So I get x equals, that's going to be 10 over 2, so I get x equals 5. All right, so that tells me my x value is going to be over here, the axis of symmetry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is going to be right here. Now this won't be on the actual choices, but it should be helpful here in a second. So then we plug it in. So we do this process one more time. We go 5 squared minus 10 times 5 plus 22. So even though this is multiple choice, you still got to work your way through this. You use your calculator. Again, you do not need to do this in your head. We end up getting, I believe, -3. So we're at positive 5, -3. It's the graph that opens up. So there you go. Hopefully I have not made any mistakes on here. Hopefully that'll be really helpful for you guys going into the test. Sorry I'm standing in the way. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email. Do your best on the quiz. We just want to see what you guys have picked up. And hopefully we're staying on top of things here. Okay? Have a great rest of your day and good luck on the quiz.